right, Module 6, time to wind this semester down. Um, let's review what we've looked at thus far. In Module 2, we looked at rigid data products. So exacting answers, exact number of wells, leases, production for the Gulf of Mexico. This is settled GOM data product we call GDP. Module 3, we looked at representational data, so EBIS. This is taking bullet points, paragraphical information out of news, investor presentations, financials, website scrapes, attaching it to spatial, and rendering it back into maps and Power BI. Then we moved on to mashup. So this is taking the GOM data product, GDP, right here, mashed up with another vendor's product, Marine Traffic's AIS vessels, allowing you to do some analytics. In that module, we looked around to understand various development stages in E&P, if you recall. Then in module 5, which we just completed, we took a look at taking down some raw data from Utah, the state of Utah, and building some analytics on top of it. So we sort of built a miniature rigid data product, a very quick version of a rigid data product for Utah that only had a few data types, wells, production, and then built an analytics set on top of that. In module 6, what we're going to do is learn to create our own data product. So just like module 2 and 3, the GOM data product, the EBIS data product, those are both data products. One is rigid, one's representational. In this particular exercise, module 6, you're going to create your own rigid data product for Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. So as you've heard from me over the semester, there are many purposes to creating your own data product. It doesn't always have to be a custom data product from scratch. It could be an enrichment to an existing vendor's feed. But either way, a custom data product will save your company money. You don't have to pay the subscription costs. At the same time, there is a build cost, and if you don't have the staff to do it right, you may never be able to get on the same level as a vendor. But either a custom data product or an enrichment of an existing vendor's feed does have a greater purpose to enable you to do custom mashups and analytics inside your organization that fit your business priorities. All right, let's start off at my company's website, Settled Information Solutions. ETL is underlined in our logo. Full name is an acronym for Scope, Extract, Transform, Load, Disseminate. It's both an acronym for those terms, as well as settled, meaning get it done, get it finished, be done with it. So that's a little bit about my company. I want to show you how we build a product. So for example, we have a flat file structure where we store all of the build data, global, EBIS you know about. It's a representational data product. It's got a certain file structure, archive, admin, scope, extract, transform, load, disseminate, the company name, easy to remember. North America, we've got a bunch of different products in here. They're all in different states. Some of them are dormant. Some of them are in production, being sold. Others are simply aggregates that are in waiting for compilation to a US data product, for example. So we have a lot of states. But GOM is in production, being sold. Archive, that simply means anything I don't know what to do with, I throw it in there, don't delete it. Admin, there's no admin portion for GOM. Um, for example, there's no C# entry form needed for workers here. This product is 100% automated. Well, 95%. There's certain things I have to do manually every now and then. So the folder structure: scope, extract, transform, load, disseminate. Scope. So scope is, what kind of links, where do I find data, what do I know about the GOM, and just pile it all in here. Extract. This is where the inputs go. So on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, we run various Python scripts and JSON harvesters and all kinds of things going on to go download different types of files. So in this case, we have them organized by type. So you see we have daily ASCIIs, weekly ASCIIs. Daily, today is 4:15. On 4:14, you see at 7:30, these things were downloaded and unzipped and sit here waiting for a job in the transform folder to pick it up and use it. This job, daily activity, is reading all of those ASCIIs and various other data types to then process them and output them as core feature classes in the GOM data product. So it's a data-driven map. We're not updating the map every day. These jobs are reading inputs. This is plans, permits to drill, permits to modify, well activity review, prospects. You see I've got a lot of annotation and flags telling me what I did. I have hundreds of these jobs that look like this. There's no way I could remember everything I ever did in there if I didn't annotate it. So you can see in the file names we have breadcrumbs, or however you want to say that. We have an underbar D underbar. This is because my system is running to some data load dashboard that knows that this job is supposed to run daily. So if the outputs are more than 24 hours old, I will get an alert. And we have a live dashboard up in the office that monitors all internal systems, web REST services, for example, data loads. Everything is known within 5 minutes, whether it's got a problem or not. You also see this particular FMW spits out some CSVs. That's our standard here at setld, is to spit out QCs from things that didn't work as intended. So, for example, we have some permits to drill from a long time ago in BOEM's data in their ASCII file that don't have coordinates. So how can I draw it? So that's a list of those. Then we have plans that don't have a block listed. Then we have prospects that have no active block or lease. This could be a prospect back when the blocks were named differently. So these come out on a daily basis, but generally we view them and see that we're okay with them upon first build and sort of iterative build process. We become okay with certain degrees of error, like permits to drill with no coordinates. We have a certain threshold or tolerance for those errors, and we accept them and move on with our lives. So, because there's really nothing we can do about the source having those issues. So transform, I hope that was understood. We've got plenty of jobs and QCs and things going on. The way that the job kicks off, it's scheduled on a workstation, and it runs a batch file that does these things. So clean up and download. For the prospects, there's like a PDF word scraping going on, putting PDF data into an actual table. We're also running the transform job, so the FMW. And then finally, every day we're going to the FTP site and uploading data there. So load is where we our transform jobs are loading straight to SDE. Load is also in the end of that batch file we were looking at. Load is peeling off file geodatabases full of data from SDE for upload to FTP. So that's what load is. I'll show you our SDE where where the actual master copy is. So let's go to RO North America settled. Yeah, so here's our GOM data product. We have some lookup tables. We have some daily featured classes, some weekly, some monthly, some quarterly, some manual, and some special. So this is our main repository. And this is again a derivative of it that we load to FTP for companies and organizations who know how to consume a data product. We can provide them the raw feature classes for upload into their systems for processing and distribution in Portal or wherever they would like it to be distributed. And for companies that don't know how to consume file geodatabases, we offer obviously the GIS as a service, if that makes sense. Simply log in with your browser, get to some data. So disseminate is where we keep our MXD that we publish to ArcGIS server. We've got our Power BI template. We've got a user guide and videos. User guide is straightforward. It's got instructions on how to use the tools in the web map, in the web app, etc. So I hope that makes sense. This has been a little bit of an insight as to how we build data products at Settled, how we organize data. It becomes quite important when you have FME jobs and things pulling on each other. It becomes important that you develop naming conventions and strategy with your organization. Otherwise, you can end up in quite a mess. Thanks for listening. It's been a great semester. Give me a call anytime. You know where to find me. Thanks.